Welcome back, everyone, to episode 261 of the Craftverse series. I've got quite a bit planned for this week, and first off, I'd like to show you the new location for one of my next towers. Also, figured out how to arc my pathways just a little bit so they don't just have blocky, straight textures. Have a little bit of variance, a little bit of rounding. I've got two different ones leading into what this tower is going to be. And then this whole floor is going to be filled in pretty quickly, rather shortly. I've also extended out from the third pathway, the northernmost exit, leading all the way out down this coastline. And you can already see it in the background. There's our guardian tower. And this leads all the way, rounded out, in a nice little walkable path. It's very well lit for what it is. All the way to the conjunction point. Right here. And it somehow fit absolutely perfectly with the amount of rounding I did. So now we can just walk from one tower to the other without having to stress about, am I going to have to go through the base? Am I going to have to deal with lag? And then if I want to just have a separate experience, I don't have to worry about seeing everything and loading it all in. Little aerial view of the area. Not too bad. This actually didn't take as long as I half expected it to. Most of it was just getting the trees to despawn. And I do plan on doing something funky with this side of it, which is not planting my face into a light post. That sounds very much bad idea. But I have also added some pathing over there. And there's my giant potato. Thank you again, Kazi Gaming, for your comment and request. I added a little bit of non-rounded pathing over here. Kept it pretty straightforward, going to and from tower to spyglass. And I do actually have a design for what I want to do at the face of this, so it's not just a big open hole, as including a storage and potential sorting system out from here. But we will get to that a little bit later. Right now, I want to get this next tower base down. And I do have some removing to do once I get the base down, because I want to get that whole section with all of the trees and the grass and everything down one layer so it's all just river. And wrap a stone barrier around this thing, which will look pretty nice. So let's see, which one do I have on me? I don't really want that one yet. Where's the one that has my moss? Right here. We'll do that for now. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing here is bringing moss all the way down. At least these two. Then there's going to be a little bit of variance involved. There's going to be a diamond-shaped path. I have to find the exact middle, put glass there. But I think for the moment, I'll start by just putting a dirt block. Right here is the middle. Right here is the middle. So that is the dead center. It's going to help me out because I actually need to remove should be equal to 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is 25. Now I need to bring this one more down, right? Yes, because I need to replace the floor. You can actually stay there. I'm doing something a little bit different in this tower base than I have on any of the others. I'm trying to keep things a little bit fresh. Not have nearly as much of the exact same as I always have. Okay, which one has my other stuff? This one. First off, that's the level that sits on. That's where they stay. And then right down here. Nope. Okay. So that's good. Don't need you anymore. Do this part in a minute. That's what I've got to do now. Just make a diamond of moss, regular moss specifically. Fill in this center line with the pale moss. And then have this meet up on both sides. Okay, that is all of the moss blocks. I will be needing the rest of those momentarily, but right now, the main shtick is getting the dirt in place. I'm going to be 2 dirt short. Well, more than 2 dirt short. So let's go grab a couple bits of dirt. That ought to be good. One more section over here to add in. Okay. Nice little view of the setting sun. This is far enough away from my villagers that I don't have to worry about them linking to it by any means. What do you think of it so far? I do need to get my sea lanterns. So that is what guides the middle area. Prevents any drowns from spawning. Also, between episodes, I fiddled with my filter settings for the lens of this recording, so let me know if you like it more or less than it previously was, and I will tweak it from there. Okay, so this is essentially what this is going to look like. I do need to get some iron for buckets and fill this in, and then I can put glass there, and that's where my axolotls are going to go once I get some axolotls. Okay, well, let's take a detour to the iron farm, grab some fresh iron for new buckets. Ooh, not make that. I haven't even been loading in this area for a bit, and they're already dying. Nice. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 4 buckets. I don't feel like having to go back and get more buckets. Eventually, I will make sure that food station is checked. That is already looking quite nice, if I do say so myself. Okay. First, we put you there. And then we can grab from this one. Nope, can't reach that. Okay, now we have a full aquatic station. And just because I don't want to carry water, we'll do that. Get the glass in play. Okay. Done on that. Grab my setup for the exits. Going to be using a bunch of bamboo for this one. But I'm also going to be using a bunch of cherry. Now, it might not seem like it goes well together, depending on your preferences of contrast. But trust the process. It will look pretty good. Okay, last fence gate. Oop, well, it already works. Alright, so all of my main level entrances are installed. These are strictly for those gateways right there, but only the bottom floor has to have the actual fence gates, so we're good. Okay, next up is the external. Well, actually, it's these first. So I'm going to be doing this. Right there, and then back here is something else entirely. I'm leaving that corner one because that's where the light pillar is going to be. If you've seen the previous renditions of this build, you'll know what I mean by light pillar. Those are all good and installed. go ahead and get this one in. This is where our acacia fences are going to be for the railing. A little bit of orange to pop out with the red and the moss coloring, because I'm also putting the moss as carpets, and I did not remember to get away from the berry bushes, so remember to stay away from your berry bushes. It'll save your life, potentially your armor. And also depends on whether or not you get shot in the process of making this. This is one of my favorite renditions of the tower, to be honest. And not for any specific block reason, but how the end result looks. This tier is now in. Okay, we're using a combination of regular cherry logs and stripped birch for this tower. But I need to get my moss back. Probably not going to use all that. Let's grab the pail. Okay, we're going to start off by doing this. So that is where that ultimately has to sit. Is it feeling a little bit janky to you? Because I feel like it's hanging up on my end. Minecraft has been giving me subtle issues the last couple of days, but I do still have to produce content, so hopefully it's at least watchable. That is what I do for the edges. Now, it doesn't really look that easy to spot, but I assure you it is installed. Spawn proofing and the such. That one's already down, so we skip that one. It's not where you go right there. Did need a bit more of the regular moss carpet, which is just fine because I'm going to be using a lot more of that here in a bit. That didn't go as planned. Okay. So now all of the central area moss is in. Somebody was aggro. Why would I keep this? I did not need to make that much of the pale moss. Waste. Where did it go? There it is. For right now, honestly, that might actually be all of the pale moss that I was ever going to need. But that's all I need for these at the moment. Now I need to grab one of each of these two and stick them on the floor in the middle. And the berry bushes and firefly bushes are already starting to do their thing, which I am very happy with, but it does mean that I have to sleep. I am not leaving my bed there, though. 'Cause I may very well need it on future levels. Keep those together. First we grab these. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be leaving these down here on the bottom, I think. Since I'm going to not really need that. Just grab an equal amount. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. We're going to cheese this. Okay. Alternatively, you could just, build all the way around like I've done all of the other times. Is that Wandering Trader playing fetch with one of the dogs? Because every time he makes a noise, the dog makes a noise. Yes, I called you out, Pooch. I heard you. See, I'm doing this one differently, so I might as well do it fully differently. You know what I mean? Commit to different. Okay. And now, the interesting part. Stretching this level directly over everything else. Do you see why I chose the birch, stripped birch rather, and cherry logs? It's a nice kind of, was it Neapolitan is the ice cream flavor with the strawberry and the vanilla and the chocolate. It might not have the chocolate aesthetic, but it does have the strawberry for sure. Honestly, it's kind of more of a red velvet, but you know what I mean. And the nice cherry fence aesthetic over there looks really nice. I'm going to be using the bamboo as the slabs, but are not just standard bamboo slabs. I'm going to be using the mosaic slabs because that gives a little bit of extra texture to the build, and I'm actually quite fond of it. So let's see about grabbing some of those out to show you just as a baseline of what we can expect for this. Where would I have put them? Has to be in here then. Nope, but that's these that I actually did need, so that's good. So I can go ahead and do this first. Fully spawn-proof the bottom. Light this up. This way I don't have to worry about creepers walking in and blowing up my nice hard work in the middle. Or chickens. Explosive chickens are a terrible thing. Could you imagine how messy that would be? I know it's not a pickaxe, but it will have to do. I am not going to remember that's even there. Turtle, what are you doing trying to go upstairs? This is not New York. Turtles don't walk upstairs here. I don't even sell pizza. It's not all it's cracked up to be selling pizza. It's really not. Okay. So I have my spawn proofing for the bottom level completed. Everything is wrapped, sealed. I don't have to worry about things spawning in here. Well, we'll just, where did it go? Right here. Take these back out, stick them in the collections area. It wasn't what I was actually looking for. It's not going to be with the sea lanterns. Obviously, it's not going to be with the logs. Was it with the moss and I just missed it? No, it wasn't with the moss. Granite. No, it's not with the granite either. Cactus flower? Yes, it's with the cactus flowers. Okay. So here is what we're going to do. I'm going to have these going up. You might be like, why is there an open spot in the back? Because I'm going to be putting another item I forgot to grab back there. Now I have a way up. And I'm going to be doing that on all four sides as always. And then I'm going to be putting moss carpets on top of this. And then extending up the usual way elsewise. Just want to have a guaranteed path up to the next section I need to build on so I don't have to fly. Not everybody enjoys beating their head against a wall, proverbial or otherwise. So where was my moss just now? Might be enough. This is the aesthetic we are going for. I think the moss carpets blend very well with the bamboo aesthetic. More so with the mosaic than it does with the regular one because it's got a little bit of variance in how it looks. It's not so stiff. I am by no means a master of artistic flair, but I did take a 2D art course, so I know a little bit about art. Just a little bit. But there's only one block now that things could still spawn on, and that's this one back here. So I could potentially get a baby zombie, so I gotta try and not allow that. Sorry, did I say one? I have to get the light pillars in too. So let's grab these and get in place. Okay. Okay, all 4 of these are in. I did not need to grab 3 stacks. That was literally half a stack right there. It's extra cherries. Then there's these, which go right here. Right? Good enough. Okay, so granite was in... I literally have no recollection of things. Okay, so what we're going to do with this, to make it look more like the vines are creeping up, is to have it go up these bottom ones here. And then once I get to the top, I'm going to be lining up some more glow lichen up there, which is why I have so many crafted. But I'm trying to incorporate it as though it's kind of being overtaken by the roots of so many pieces. There we go. I don't want to use the glowberries down here. They're all meant for the top. So everything else here is going to have to stay with me. But we will get into doing more of this build next time. I'm going to try and get at least the core of it installed between episodes, because you guys have already seen me build this like 1,000 times, and now you know what the palette looks like. And hopefully you enjoy this palette. If not, let me know in the comments how you would change it, and what other woods you think would go well together. There's one more palette that I have pre-ready to go, and we're going to wait a little while before we build another tower, because there's already so many towers being built on such a regular basis. I hear padded footsteps around me. Okay, they're all out there, right? Nope. There he is. There's the culprit. Found him. Okay, I'll deal with him later. We should be safe in here because I managed to get all of the spawn proofing for once before the end of the first episode of a build. See you in the next episode when we have 90% of the exterior installed. I'm just getting the shell at this point and potentially the bamboo mosaic wrap up all the way up, just so I can access everything. But have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next episode.